welcome to your view with me on JJ Tabane. I don't know if you remember, but a couple of years ago, Woolworths made us all proud by celebrating Mandela by getting the Soweto Gospel Choir to perform in one of its flagship stores. And in fact, the Soweto Gospel Choir choristers dressed like Woolworths people, and then people were surprised. They just saw people getting out of the aisles and singing and so on. And indeed, it made, if you like, the ratings of Woolworths to rise. The PR was praised as having done something extraordinary in the midst of Mandela's passing. I think it actually coincided with Mandela's passing. Asimbonanga singing a beautiful, beautiful song. It talks about Mandela, and in Robben Island and all the hardship he suffered there, But the issue is, if you are a company, you got to make sure that your public relations and your reality are not too far apart. It's a critical part of public relations. If you are a business leader listening now, right, you need to interrogate what your PR people get you to do. So Woolworths now taking the name of Mandela and appropriating it this way more than any other retail store or even another business had done in that time. Got people having butterflies and thinking, oh, Woolworths, oh, what a corporate citizen. Now we hear that Woolworths has fired somebody. They have fired Matapelo, right, for wearing his pant, right? This is a traditional, celebration, was the marking of a traditional ceremony, by a Zulu woman. And they fired her because they're saying this thing is too smelly, that she shouldn't wear it at work, right? Something that would shame Mandela in his grave. Woolworths must hang its head in utter shame, really. And it's not the first time that Woolworths has done things that are mockable, basically. They have done things that are shameful of a corporate citizen. You remember a couple of years ago, if not months ago, they were found stealing an idea of an entrepreneur who had created something called Baba Court or something like that. Right? And then they went and duplicated this thing. And it was on their shelves. They had to remove it when the entrepreneur said, hey, I approach you with this thing, you thieves. Woolworths. Top brand with fantastic food. In household they always argue Woolworths or Pick and Pay Woolworths, and then Woolworths when it comes to fresh food and all wins the day. But what a smelly attitude, what a smelly conduct they have displayed, Woolworths, by mocking African culture. It's an utter shame, man. It's a bloody disgrace, actually. And it's not the last time. Then, as if that wasn't enough, then they stole a recipe, a ginger beer recipe from some brand called Frankie's or something like that. I don't remember the detail. I just remember the theft of it all. Woolworths. It's okay to blame government, point the finger every day, but the private sector, corrupt to the core, man. Now here are people who they don't even think twice after they associate themselves with a name like that of Mandela, who preached inclusivity, who preached acceptance, who preached reconciliation. They go and they say, no, your Zulu culture of ours is smelling. Just cover it or just drop it. Are there black people working at Woolworths? I mean, in a board of Woolworths, or who have been exposed to this shameful conduct, and are they going to do something about it, or they are being paid so much that they have keep quiet? Because these days, it's how much the size of the mouth is, and the shouting is equal to how much you are being paid to shut up in the midst of this shameful thing. And this is an example of what black people do in these corporations. They get there and they are given a big office with meaningless portfolio and so on, and a big check and a big bonus. And then this kind of shamefulness happens under their watch. And of course, I'm talking under correction. If you have done something, well done. But if you haven't done something, shame on you. And if you have done something, I'm not talking about you. If you haven't, the shoe must fit you. You are shaming us all. And if you are a staff member at Woolworths, you are unions at Woolworths, why is the place not at a standstill over this? Why are you not marching and protesting that whoever made this decision, whoever is in HR of Woolworths who sanctioned the suspension of Matapelo must be fired? Why are you not protesting? You protest when they do what? When they fire you, because they're coming for you. If they can do this to Matapelo on this thing, the next thing they'll be telling you that you seem to be killing too many of your uncles. Now you can't go and live. Don't tell me that your uncle has passed away again. That's what they're going to do. Because in them, maybe you've got one uncle. If you say you have 5 uncles, they're all dying in a row, and you want to take leave and take a... Why do you take a week's leave to bury your uncle? That's what's coming next. If they can't understand that after a traditional ceremony, you go to wear what you need to wear to mark either be it bereavement or whatever ceremony you are doing, you got to hang yourself in bloody shame if you work at Woolworths and this has happened under your nose and you have done nothing about it. But Woolworths as a corporate citizen must go back to a drawing board and ask itself some difficult question. No, they got to do that. It's bad, but it talks about the heartlessness of corporate South Africa. At West, they are indifference. Indifference to culture, indifference to diversity, indifference to transformation. No wonder, after 25 years, you still have 70% of all white, all promotions being to white people. After 25 years, we are going to 26 years of democracy. And the corporate South Africa, the likes of the Woolworths, have shown us the middle finger. They've shown us a middle finger, but so after the TRC, you guys said, no, there shouldn't be a wealth tax, let's all kumbaya, let's all hang together, let's all hold the hands. The same Mandela they're singing about now said, let's reconcile. But hey, but one of us the wealth tax. We should have charged them that wealth tax. Now that magnanimity is coming back to bite us because they're showing us a middle finger. Look at the JSE, owned by whites and foreigners. Black people with crumbs of 3% of that ownership. Because we've got a heartless corporation that will not come to the table voluntarily to transform so that this economy can be shared by others. No. They can't be bothered. Man. They can't be bothered. That's why we shouldn't be surprised about Lily Mine. If the cousin of the CEO of Woolworths or somebody in these corporations was stuck in a mine, let's say they were a mine manager there and they happened to be in that container, I can bet my last dollar they would have blown that mine apart to find that container. They would have dug a tunnel. They would have done something other than 4 years of a container of black people stuck below a mine when those people are making billions and exporting them. But they dig up the minerals. Let's import this thing. Whether 3 blacks died under a mine should not bother them. I can bet that if it was a white person in that container, they would have dug up that mine, man, by now. You can't tell me that with the sophistication of this economy, the sophistication of the mining industry here, none of them, including the Chamber of Mines, who changed their name to something called Minerals Council, changed nothing, just changed the name for no apparent reason, really. You can't tell me that all of those mining brains couldn't put their heads together and say, 3 people cannot be buried under our mine in our watch. We're going to dig up that mine. We're going to sink another shaft. We're going to do something so that black lives don't rot in a mine after we've dug up billions in revenue, in profits. Talk about our corporates that are heartless, that are indifferent in this country. And they're the first ones to point their finger. Yeah, government doesn't have policy, this or that. Hey, if this economy is growing at 0%, it must be an indictment of business people to start with in this country. It must be an indictment of business who are sitting on millions that they are not investing. Now here's an industry that can invest a few billions to dig up a container where people are dead for 4 years. You tell me that these are the people who now we must look up to for the solutions of this economy, when they can't do a simple thing. Just to show compassion, man. To show compassion of people who every day go down to those shafts to risk lives to dig up gold over which they will not benefit a cent. Instead they can unleash the police on them and kill 34 of them like dogs. No. But what man? Strike. These are criminals. Babulai. President because it doesn't matter, Mus. These are black lives. Do you think for a minute if just 5 white people were killed there in Marikana, that this country would not have been on its feet? Just if just 5, not 35 miners gunned down. No, just 5. If 5 white managers there in Marikana were shot along those, yes. Nileta wanas puku South Africa. Black lives mean nothing. Black culture means nothing to business, nothing. Utamolore barro tlatsa dikubo kae go tlhokofetsa ba batla o bolela gore koko a hotla o patella salary or ba tsa mo bolela Mandela. Those are the crumpters now. Bare hey Mandela utla Mandela. We are in trouble, South Africa. And corporate South Africa is at the heart of that trouble. Stealing, devaluing the rand, conspiring to devalue the currency, stealing money of shareholders like the Steinhoffs of this world, or just purely being rude, like the Momentums of this world who refuse to pay somebody criminal. The reason for which he took out the police. Corporate South Africa. Or a photo like I was silly. But a person dies in their car. Instead of compensating by North of or just spitting in the face of the citizens. Corporate South Africa. But if you examine where the rot sits, where the lack of transformation sits, where the lack of compassion sits, go and look at corporate South Africa. Woolworths is just is the one we have found out. What Woolworths? But there are many like that. And by the way, if I'm not talking about you, a shoe doesn't fit you. Don't worry. I'm talking about Woolworths. 3 strikes, and that's enough. Let's take a break now.